Hello, today we are going to do question answers of the chapter The Great Stone Face of your book NCERT English Grade A. These are the questions of working with the text of the chapter Great Stone Face 1. Let's start with the very first question. What was the Great Stone Face? The Great Stone Face was a work of nature. It was formed on the perpendicular side of mountain by some gigantic rocks. These rocks were clustered together in such a position that when they viewed from certain distance, they resembled the features of a human face. Firstly, it is important to know that the Great Stone Face was a work of nature and it was not created artificially. So, our first point is that it was a work of nature. Secondly, it was formed on the perpendicular side of the mountain by some gigantic rocks. So, how was it formed? It was formed by some gigantic rocks. Where was it formed? Next question will be where was it formed? That would be on the perpendicular side of the mountain. Now, this is what the Great Stone Face was in three words. It was a work of nature, it was formed by gigantic rocks, and it was formed on the perpendicular side of the mountain. Now, these rocks were clustered together, they were put together, or they were originally by nature in such a position that when viewed from a certain distance, they resembled the features of human face. When you view something from a distance, you will see that it resembles a human face. If I put these three things right here, a person standing here would see that these are just rocks. But a person standing here will see something else. As these two rocks resemble the eyes, and this rock here resembles the nose, like this. But the person standing here would only be able to see that is a cluster of rocks. That is how you can write the answer in your own words. Like the great stone face, when you see it from a certain distance, you can see the features of the human face. But if the spectator approached too close to the face or to the rock, he could only see a heap of enormous rocks that were piled onto one another. Piled onto one another is a phrase that we can use to answer a question like this. So I would say that piled on to one another is one phrase I will use to answer this question. On the contrary, the great stone face seemed to be positively alive when viewed from a distance. Most people dwelling in that area believed that the valley owed much of its fertility to the gentle face that was continually smiling over it. This means that the people believed that the fertility of the area around the great stone face of the village in which they lived, they owed the fertility to the great stone face, to the gentle face that was continuously smiling over it. Next question is, what did the young Ernest see when it gazed at it? What did he wish? Whenever Ernest gazed at the great stone face, he felt like the great stone face was smiling to him. He wished that he could talk to him because the great stone face looked so kind that Ernest thought that it looked so kind that his voice must be so pleasant to hear. His voice must be so kind and humble and so pleasant to hear. He wished that he could talk to him. He said that he ever sees a man with such a face, like if the prophecy comes true, he would love that man so much. What was the story attributed to the stone face, or what was the prophecy related to the stone face? The prophecy to the stone face was that someday in the future a child will be born in the valley. A child will be born. He will be destined to become two things. Firstly, greatest and noble person. He would be a great and noble person. Secondly, that his face would be exact same resemblance of the great stone face. That is the first two questions of working with the text. We'll do the next questions in the next video. Thank you and bye bye.